Okay, process development should be used as a platform. Let's talk about the technology a minute and the process. There should be proven acceptable ranges. And these things can start to be developed very early in the development cycle. Why? Well, I can tell you this. Companies that don't spend the time to put together the correct knowledge store invariably are the ones that get hung up in a pre-approval inspection. The answers are probably in your hand, but you don't know it. They're in somebody's notebook in a laboratory on the other side of the ocean. Why? Well, nobody bothered to put together the knowledge store. Our question is this. If you're going to introduce a process, what are you going to do? To me, I can't speak more highly of use proven acceptable ranges. All right? You provide a historical database. If you're going to start early on, they begin at a very broad range early in the stages, so you know you already got a reasonable, nice footprint to work within. You've documented them. Even if they're clinical trials in phase 1, the answer is you do have data. I love the guys that say, well, I didn't correct any data. You mean to tell me you when you went into humans the first time, you didn't know what you were doing at all? I find that a little hard to believe. Okay? It's a systematic reporting, which is a reference, and you reference these every time you make a change. Pilot, scale, scale up, subsequently validation. Otherwise, you have nothing to base your validation upon. Okay? Becomes a part of the knowledge store. I can't stress this enough. A simple tabulation beginning in early stages is enough to prevent a major meltdown later in life of the process, of the life cycle of the product. Okay? Again, what are they? How would you do it? Well, my recommendation to people, not only that I've consulted for, but when I was doing this myself at Novartis full time, was that you establish a chart with all process steps and all control parameters. You put in a brief description. You put in the units. You put down the expected results if you exceed them. Absolutely paramount. If you're going to be the custodian of the process, you have to be the one that says, yeah, that's going to be catastrophic, or no, that's no sweat, or no problem. And the problem is, if you don't document it up front, when the question is asked and it's not documented, it's a rumor and it's your fault. Risk evaluation of exceeding the range then has to be said it's either major or minor. It gets back to this quality by design, risk versus benefit. The answer is if it's minor, there's no risk to the patient. Quality by design, this stuff is all things we've been doing. We just keep relabeling it over the years. Okay, establish the operating range to be utilized in the plant. Proven acceptable range have to be documented, and then it is referenced in the development report. Batch records, validation. You don't necessarily even have to put this up there as a report to be presented. It's your bullet vest, your bulletproof vest. It backs up the information in your primary documents. It is the way things like some of these web-based data collection systems work. But guess what? All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper and a ruler to draw the lines. Acceptable ranges which are dependent on scale changes then can be listed, and you can make certain allocations, such as the number of guns, fluid bed dryer capacities.